Welcome back to actual play. Blades of the Dark. It got a little chilly in my office, so I've got a coat.
Nice.
That might have
Wardrobe
explained why I was
change.
so rapid fire. I was talking so quickly at the very end there.
It was just missing the jazz hands, Sean.
I know. I didn't. I'm sorry. I feel like I sort of steamrolled that last bit, but I just wanted to get. I wanted to have a chance to do a score. So
Awesome.
I love it.
Okay,
Jamie, what do you think about what we find in terms of a place?
Yeah, so just to make sure because especially with that 6, what bit of turf are you aiming for, right? Because we have lots of options.
Oh, right. We should talk about that. So let's pull up what we've got. So I think the things that sound reasonable and cool, I think all of them make sense. Offertorium gives +2 coin for occult operations. So I feel like that's like a place where we'd invite the followers of the Lord of the Depths. And when we did cool occulty shit, they would bring us stuff and we'd get, or we would invite more people like Mateus, like nobles who pay us to do cool seances and shit for them. And we have more patrons for occult stuff. We do a lot of occult things, so +2 coin for occult jobs makes sense. Sanctuary is +1D to command and sway on sight. That totally makes sense for the Lord of the Depths. Someone comes into our house, we totally have advantage there. And then Ancient Gate, safe passage in the Deadlands just sounds super freaking cool. Because there's all kinds of cool shit out in the Deathlands. So I like all those. What do you think, Kristen? What sounds cool to you?
I mean, now I want to go to the Deathlands. I say it's between Ancient Gate and Sanctuary.
I was thinking the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ancient Gate or Sanctuary. Because both are very cool.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a preference either. So, do one of you have a preference?
I feel like I could. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, you are, Jamie.
I was just gonna say I could offer something that could fulfill both, and then by the end of the score, you finalize if you want it to be either, right? Like if it's going to be a Sanctuary or an Ancient Gate. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think I think I'm leaning towards Ancient Gate, honestly.
Okay.
One, the Brightstone is right next to the Lost District. So we already had a scene in our flashback with Penance going out to the Lost District, woefully unprepared. You had a way to get out there, but it was not good. It was not stable. So I love this idea that we can somehow go, figure out what it looks like, what it means. But also, if we're all about finding these artifacts of demon binding, I'm sure there's a ton of them out there that have been lost, and we could go. I guess the question is, do we think it's fun to have scores where we're going out in the Deathlands and scavenging shit from old abandoned places?
Yes.
Or do we think it's more fun to say we're bringing people to our lair and making them do shit for us? Because that's what the Sanctuary would do.
That's a good way of putting it. No, I want to go out into the Deathlands and find shit.
Yeah, I do too. So Ancient Gate.
Yeah. Maybe we could take turns back and forth between the nobles and the demons here, and then getting the artifacts out there. Maybe there were a few abandoned demons that are still trapped in the Deathlands too. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Lost sector. Is that right? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get mixed up. The Lost District. There we go.
So if you look on the map, this is Brightstone, right? This upper sort of right-hand corner, and the Lost District is right here. So it's it's across the Mist River. It's not a trivial thing to do, but it is the closest to it. And I get this feeling if the Lord of the Depths, if we found the Lord of the Depths a place, it might be able to help us travel through or under the river and like emerge in a place in the Lost District where like if you come from this place, the local ghosts know not to fuck with you, because because there's some sort of wards around it or a history behind it or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm totally open with it, but the Lord of the Depths just feels like we would submerge and reemerge as, there. And we'd still have to deal with all the problems of like, it's covered in ash and it's like caustic. So we need to like have breathers, and it wouldn't be like, oh, a hop, skip, and a jump, but it would mean like presumably feral ghosts aren't just attacking us the moment we show up, and that we can like get through the lightning barrier as well. Cause like normally you can't just like walk through the lightning barrier. It's, we'll fry you, and there's guards and all that jazz. So
yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea. Yeah. So just to make sure I understood correctly, like the gather info was to like survey this particular spot, right? Like where it is, so that's where the score is going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Let me be more specific.
Mm-mm.
I think when we're looking for a spirit well, we're looking for a literal well, like a literal like hole in the ground. And that hole in the ground like is also an underground passage. But that spirit well, somehow, I think we have to figure out how, like repulsive, like when you travel through it, ghosts don't want to come. Ghosts don't want to mess with you, right? Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the idea of like two magnets that would like repel each other, like of the same thing, right? So
yeah,
could be something like that. Yeah. So I think what we're gonna.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but the stormy gray eye closes in Dustfall as the light of the sun, which scares away ghosts, opens in the Lost District. One eye closes, the other eye opens, and it's that light that repels the ghosts from us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So good.
Like that.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, so I think like, and it's interesting because the Dimmer sisters are relatively close to this area, right? But so I think what you find is that there is, you're shocked to find that there is another house that looks exactly like the Dimmer sisters' house, except it's mostly submerged underwater, just off the sides, right? And I think like because you rolled a 6, right? So I forgot the exact wording, but it's like great detail, and you get to ask a follow-up question.
Yeah, right? Let's pull up what gather information works, because I mean we should be also very specific about what our question is. I think our question is like, where is a spirit well in Brightstone where we could make the home of the, where we could get this claim, and where is an ancient gate really is the question.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of what it means when you get a 6 on a gather information roll, let's pull up. Sorry.
No problem.
All right. Sorry, this took a second for me to. Okay. Ask a question and make an action roll or fortune roll. GM answer honestly with a level of detail depending on the effect level. Great. You get exceptional details. The information is complete, and follow-up questions may expand into related areas or reveal more than you hoped for.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I think definitely you're able to find this particular house, and also I think the stepsisters are able to give you more information, where it was at the edge of Brightstone where the Dimmer's house, the Dimmer sisters' house used to be, right? But this is before their time, so they only heard about this, but they weren't sure. So there were only rumors, and they only got confirmed at this moment. So Ankh, you suspect that it must mean that the avatar of the house, right, is not the first one that the Dimmer sisters have taken, and that what remains now, what used to house an avatar of a god. So theoretically, if you could figure out what happened, you could reuse this in order to like house the Lord of the Depths again.
Got it. Kristen, what do you think? I feel like our follow-up question should either be like, who controls it now, or like, how do you resuscitate it? Like, how do you restore it?
Yeah, I really like who controls it now, although I know I like who controls it now.
Cool.
That's my vote.
Mm-hmm. That's the follow-up question I want to ask, Jeremy.
Right. So as you come close, you see all of these blood red lilies under the water. Does that answer the question? I can be more clear just in case.
We just shake our heads, smiling. Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I'm here for this. Okay.
Okay, I think I know what our asset should be. I totally know what our asset should be.
Okay.
I want a skin suit.
Wow, Sean.
We wrecked Lily Blood's skin suit in the last thing. I think she's going to need to go back to Julian to get a new suit. And I want to get it before her. So she needs to like deal with us. Or we could just like, or alternately, if we want a more like capery kind of score, a less social kind of score, we could get an asset that is the route to her, like the route that the courier would take, so we can like, you know, like, because I assume she can't just go into Julian's place now because her skin is all racketied. She's got to send somebody.
She must have sent someone.
I think either like we pick up the package in advance, or we bribe, replace whatever the person delivering, so that we're the delivery person. Like either like she has to come to us, or like we can sneak into her, or like we have a way to get to her into her place.
I like that we somehow become the person who picks up the package. However we want to do that. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's almost like a score before a score.
Well, we get a free downtime action when doing a score in our hunting grounds. That's of our kind of deal, which is releasing occult forces. So I think it's legit. And we have to figure out like what kind of downtime action this is reflected by. Is it let's see. You get a free additional downtime activity that contributes to the operation. So like, is it acquiring an asset where we're basically acquiring the like trust, or the like, I feel like that's the closest thing. And the asset is the courier. Like we're basically bribing the courier, or we're winning over the courier.
Yeah.
However you want to do it. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
Nice. How do I want to do it? Is it sway? Are we like tricking them? Is it like, hey buddy, we know something you don't know, and you probably shouldn't take that package. Let me take that out of your hands. Consort? Is it the Lord of the Depths commands you to unhand this thing? Is it command? Is it we shiv the dude? And is it skirmish? Like, I mean,
you never suggest violence, Sean. I'm
just saying, like, we can approach this any way we want. We're acquiring the role of the courier.
I want to make a case for command, because we have a lot of like stress and tension. You have a fucking house demon in you. I have a ghost that's taken up most of it. Like, I feel like now is the time for us to use a command. She says with no dots in command. But I think narratively, and we could make a case for sway too, I guess, but I just like the idea that we would use this time to command.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Hell yeah. Are we commanding Julian, the flower garden, to be like, give it to us, like give us the thing and we're gonna take it, tell us where it goes? Or are we like waiting like we did last time, and when the guy shows up, we're like, give me your coat, like Terminator style. Give me your clothes.
Yeah, we don't want to mess up a contact, right? I say the actual pickup person, but what do you think?
I'm down for it.
If you want to be Julian, I'm not opposed.
The only advantage to Julian is it like deepens our connection with this interesting NPC, and like, although I have no doubt in Jamie's ability to like make NPC popcorn and just make like another rad NPC, like I like Julian. I think he's, I think he's, I don't know. Why don't we start the interaction and see if it's command or sway? Because maybe it turns into a sway. Maybe
I was going to say it could start as command, and then it might end up being sway if we're talking with Julian, which I'm all for. Let's talk to Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like at the flower garden, right? It's been a busy day, but you can tell Julian has been nervous all day. Like he keeps looking towards the clock and he keeps looking outside towards the windows. You can tell that he's expecting someone to show up, but he looks incredibly nervous about it, right? And so, but you can tell he keeps looking towards the drawer, and it's the same drawer where that like delightful gift came from last time.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, I think, Kristen, do you want Penance to lead this, or you want Ankh to open up?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, so Ankh is there, and ostensibly we're there to like collect our dues, right? Like this is our place, there's like checking in on things. And when Julian like looks at the drawer and then looks back, Ankh is staring him dead in the eyes, right? Like she's like right there. Like, I saw you looking at that thing. And she steeples her hand. She like puts her hands on the counter. I think he's on the other side of like the counter. She steeples her hands on the counter and she says, Julian, you've helped us quite a bit and given us a lot of guidance. So I would like to give you some guidance. I would like to share some of my experience with you as well. You do not want to keep doing business with the owner of that parcel.
And so Julian looks at you like and wonders how much you know, right? And he touches the brim of his hat a little nervously and he says, well, my dear lady, as beautiful as the flower garden is, there are many blossoms that we have to attend to that can be quite dangerous. I assure you. And then as his eyes flicker towards where the package is, there are far more dangerous ones than this one.
I don't know that you've seen I don't know that you've seen the full bloom of that flower. It has although beautiful, although beautiful on the surface, what lies beneath is its roots may destroy the earth, may suffocate everything else, but they run into. And I think Kristen, if you're cool with it, I like turn to you because you have like a glass jar with the fucking spore that like lily, like the poison fucking. I don't know what you have it in. I assume a glass jar. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, I love this because I think we're on the same page. I was gonna, I can absolutely show the jar like as soon as
because it's like growing and sentient.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like scary, weird flower shit.
But I also think that Penance has some. I think that at least 2 of those thorn flowers are still there. They're like dying, but they're not all the way gone. And so I think she also like rolls up the sleeve of her coat to show him, in addition to having that's where my mind was going. So I like that there's both, so that he can kind of put it together.
He can put the pieces together. And I say, sometimes the best thing you can do to tend to a plant is to prune it. I suggest for the health of the flower garden that you prune this one poisonous plant from your collection.
This feels like the Sway role, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah. I think so. I mean, it could have gotten heated. Like, it could have been like, do it. But I agree. I think it's Sway. I'm happy to do it if you want to assist, or we could do it as a group action, or...
No, I'll there's no... Is one... I can't remember. Is one mechanically more beneficial than the other?
They're different. So... if we're both kind of like tag teaming it, then narratively speaking, that's a group action. I think I'd lead it, which means I'd take the stress if we roll poorly. We both roll our Sway, we take the best result.
That's right. Okay.
If it's more like you're like Onk's kind of doing it and you're coming in with support, then it's you spend a stress.
I take a stress and you get the bonus die.
And I from what we described so far, I can totally see it going either way. So
I'll take the point of stress and give you the bonus die. I think that's what makes the most sense.
Cool.
I marked it.
All right. We're not gathering information, so I don't think Ghost Mind makes sense here. And I'm not commanding, so Occultist doesn't make sense. Okay. All these fun abilities. All right. I am going to roll Sway. What's position effect here, Jamie?
Yeah, I think this is your turf, and I feel like you have a fairly good relationship. So I'm going to say it's controlled, but I'm going to say that the effect is limited only in that he may agree with you, but whether or not he'll report this to the Dimmer Sisters is something else, right?
He may not be entirely in our confidence.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
So typically gear is one of the ways in which you can increase your effect, right? You can be like, well, I'm not just punching him, I'm taking a sword to him. So, do you feel like the tattoo of the Lord of the Depths is like adequate to show the like scary assness of what he's getting into? Because that's where she was like, because I think what I want to do is say like she had a very powerful entity in her command, an entity that's no longer in her command, and like pull back, and like show the tattoos. Do you feel like that's like enough to kind of does it seem applicable?
I would argue that you do have at your disposal something that would be very difficult to look away from. Your golden horns.
Oh yeah.
That we know that particular being is very charming. So.
That's right.
Oh
yeah. If you wanted to take advantage of that, I could say that it goes up to standard.
I mean, absolutely. Marking the gear right now. I forgot I actually literally have that on there. Mark of Sona, the golden horns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I say because Julian always has like really ornate, beautiful masks. And I imagine he doesn't like wear the same one all the time. Like he has a bunch of different ones. And I say, perhaps it's time to wear a new mask. And I like slide him one that has these beautiful horns on it. And then I let mine plume out as well.
Very, very cool. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Nice. All right.
Like you see, like behind the mask, like Julian's eyes widen, like, ooh.
Nice.
Risky standard with 1 bonus die.
Oh, controlled standard even.
Oh, controlled standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sway, controlled, standard, bonus die, bump. Oh yeah.
There it is.
Very good, very good. Yeah, yeah. And I think when that happens, yeah, I think Julian easily takes off the mask that he's wearing, right? And then that's when you see he has a very beautiful, vulnerable looking face, but there are these huge claw marks across it, right? And when you look into the claw marks, there's also like, it's just a moment. You don't have enough time to really look at it, but it looks like there's like the flesh of plants underneath the scars, right?
Mm.
But he's not trying to hide it from you or anything. Like he's not ashamed of any of that. And so you can tell that he probably only wears the mask for the sake of the clients and the customers more than anything else.
Oh,
right.
Nice. It's more. It's not like I'm ashamed of this. It's like I need to cater to my clientele, and I would.
Yeah, exactly. But then he picks up the mask that you gave him and he places it on, and he goes, "It fits perfectly." Almost like, and he can sense like, you know, the care that was placed into the mask, like how much he had to make sure that it would fit perfectly as it does.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, if that's the case, and he opens the drawer, pushes the box towards you, I will have to inform the clients. What is it that I'll be informing them? He says as he winks towards you.
That you understand they're indisposed and the parcel will be delivered to them.
Absolutely. In the most capable hands, he says as he pushes the box towards you.
Nice.
And then he places a finger against his mouth.
Nice. And I'm just going to check the box of, check the gear of, I think it's subterfuge supplies.
Ooh, nice.
Makeup kit where we just have disguises, right? Like we just look like couriers, you know, because she's seen us before. And I don't think like we'll find out with a sway roll later how well the disguise works, but like for all intents and purposes, as opposed to like showing up to this place in terms of like blue coats and other people, I think we look like a pair of couriers. And if you're cool with that, Kristen, we just both check it and like,
yeah,
cool. You know, we'll look the part.
Cool.
Should we pick out load and make an engagement roll?
Yeah, sounds good. I think we have enough time to, well, I mean, it depends. If we roll really well, we might finish the score in an hour. But
yeah.
But we can at least start the score today, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go picking load. I'm gonna go normal.
Normal sounds, yeah. I mean, light. Normal is gonna look like we're carrying something, but we are carrying something.
Right. And I'm thinking we're couriers already, so.
Yeah, and I think one of us should probably like take a load the package. It's kind of like a dead. It's like it's just using up one of our slots, which is you know, a bummer. But like it seems reasonable to say like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we're carrying the parcel, and that's one of our load, and I'm happy to do that. Or, you know, like it doesn't matter to me, but I think our load should go that unless it's really big. I don't remember it being huge though, right? It was like a cool.
The skin folds up very well. It doesn't take up a lot of space.
I felt like it was like, I don't know. I have an artist friend who always delivers his paintings wrapped in butcher paper, and that's kind of just what
I pictured it, like tied.
Yeah.
I'm all blurry. What happened?
You're all blurry.
I know. I don't like that. There I am.
There we go.
It's a Thea.
A Thea, just zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I could take the. I'll take the package. The reason I was quiet is because I was trying to think if it was too like metagaming if we didn't decide now who was holding the package, but I feel like that is. So I'll just go ahead and take it.
You can take it and then decide I'm holding it later if that's the case. Like you can pay the load cost and like we can still say, oh, but I've got it. Like it's fine.
Okay.
We can.
I got it to start.
I'm putting it on your gear sheet.
Thanks.
There you go.
The package.
Nice.
Sweet. So what kind of score is this? It feels like it's subterfuge, stealth, or deception. It seems like it's deception. Sorry. I had to find them. I couldn't remember the names of the different plan types.
I can't believe you could not remember the 6 different plan types and their missing detail. Are there 6? Deception sounds right to me.
I mean, we're tricking her into thinking that we're the couriers so we can get into her house and murder her, right? Like,
yeah.
or take her, or take over her house. I don't know how we're gonna do it yet. We'll figure that out in flashbacks. But right now, I think we're just sneaking in. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's ask the questions. Is this plan particularly bold or daring?
Yeah.
Does it rely on multiple contingencies, or is it overly complicated?
I don't know if it's overly complicated.
I don't know how we'd make it much simpler. I mean, we could make it simpler by just being like, we show up with pikes and stab her, but like, as a deception plan, as a deception plan method, we have a really solid method.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do a thing she's expecting. I don't think it's overly complicated. I don't know. It's not intricate. The last one was intricate. It was like, will Matthias give us the dagger? And can we do the ritual? And,
Right.
There's lots of steps. So,
yeah.
No penalty there. Is the target particularly vulnerable to this method, to deception? What do you think, Jamie?
I was going to say, that's probably a Jamie question.
Yeah.
No. I think she's very, someone who wears different skins is quite good at deception.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was thinking, yeah.
Do they have any? So right now we're at 2 dice. One for being bold, one for Do they have any special defenses against this?
I would say yes, they do, though.
Okay, -1.
Yeah.
We're down to 1 die. Do we have any friends who would help us with this score?
Didn't Julian just help us? Oh,
Skurlock won something.
Yeah, we ran it by him. I think really Salia too. Like if we.
Oh yeah, because Salia promised to help Penance.
Yeah.
So 2 dice. Do we have any enemies working against us? I think we have a Thea working against us. I'm sorry. I think we do.
I don't know that she's an enemy.
I was about to say that.
Look, she loves me in her own way, Sean.
Let me rephrase that. Is she actively trying to thwart this score, whether enemy or not?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Okay, then I think we lose a die because she can just fuck shit up anytime she wants.
She can. Yeah.
Are there any other factors to consider, such as tier or special advantages? I want to say, hell the fuck yeah. I want an extra die because we have the fucking parcel. I feel like this is really, really good. And I also want an extra die. I know this is like breaking the rules. Normally you can't get more than 1 die right now, but I'm going to ask for it because we have Lord of the Depths. Like we have a Thea's pop. And like I feel like, or mom, or parent, or creator, or
all those.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Is that 1 die? Is that 2 die? Is that no die?
Yeah, I'll give. We can say 2 dice because I have an idea for what happens if the vessel of the Lord of Depths has a problem later.
Yeah. No problem. That's 3. Are there any factors? Are there any additional factors working against us though? We haven't.
No, I think we took into account Lily Blood and yeah. No, I think we're good.
Okay.
How many are you rolling? 3?
Cool.
3?
Yeah, 3's not bad.
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right. Do you want to make the roll, Kristen? You want me to do it?
Oh, I can do it. What is it? Fortune?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's an engagement role that you can click on the
Oh,
crew sheet.
yeah. Go to
On
the
the
crew and
crew
click on engagement
sheet.
role.
There it is. Roll engagement.
Oh, nice. Nice. Sweet.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah, these rolls tonight. Okay.
We haven't started the score yet, Kristen.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't say anything. So superstitious.
Sorry.
So superstitious. No. We can be proven wrong. I am the same person who will like put my dice in timeout. Like in my youth, I've also dropped dice in coffee when they misbehave. So I'm very superstitious with dice.
But I'm so sorry about this. Before we start the score,
Yeah.
and we can absolutely triage this if we want to. Jamie, when you were putting on heat and coin and all that stuff, did you also put on XP for the crew?
Oh, we didn't.
No. Yeah. I forgot.
No, it's fine. I just realized that we got. I think.
Yeah.
We got 2, 4, 6. I think we got 7 crew XP.
Yeah.
So that rolls us over, which means we get an advance.
Yeah.
Is there something we really want to like just say, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. We're going to grab it right now, or do we want to just wait on that and figure it out?
I mean, Ghost Echoes makes a ton of sense. I don't know if we want it. Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. Ghost Echoes makes a ton of sense.
Right? It just right now with everything happening, I just feel like that one is what pops out at me. But if we want to take time, we can come back to it.
Nah.
Ooh, I love the Ghost Echoes.
We're doing
especially for this score.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we have Ghost Echoes. We also get 3 coin in each of our stashes.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Like on our character sheet?
Yeah, on our personal thing, you get to add 3 coin. So Ankh is up to lifestyle 1. I'm not quite right.
I'll look at that later. Okay.
And I think penance should be the same.
Okay. I'll copy your homework later.
I just put you at the same as me because you haven't spent anything on your stash. We've gotten the same amount of stash.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry. I apologize for doing that, but I was like, oh crap, we forgot about doing that thing.
No worries.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So we start in a control position. I think what happens is, so we see a quick montage of you dressing up as the couriers, right? It's this gray outfit. I'm gonna say like there's like a well-known group of couriers who are like sometimes called a gang, sometimes not. Maybe we're gonna say there's like no, it's okay. I was about to say maybe we're gonna say there's like before you go off, Claudia is like for good luck, and so there's like each of you have a shot of whiskey before you go off on the score. And so and I think
she says for good luck, and like we each have a shot, and then Ankh has a second. Like it's
that sounds right.
It sounds about right. But yeah, and then so you take the package and you're able to travel like unimpeded towards the destination. So you know that the address is actually pretty close to where the ancient gate is. Like you realize like Lily Blood must have like several locations all throughout Duskfall, right?
Right.
So this one in particular is pretty close to what you hope will be your ancient gate if you're able to get it. So in this part of town, because it's so close to this dangerous river and so close to the Lost District, several of the houses here, even though it's still in Brightstone, right? You can see like some of the houses here on the very edges have been eaten away by the fog and the mist. It's particularly dark tonight, like lightning crashes every so often, but the rain is heavy. It's able to cover, like no one's looking too closely. Everyone is just trying to get out of the rain for the most part. And there's a fog that rolls in, which helps the two of you get to where you are. Even the blue coats aren't out tonight because they feel like they don't get paid enough to stand in the rain for that long.
Yeah.
Right. So even here in Brightstone.
I imagine there's plenty of scoundrels standing under awnings, smoking, cigarettes and like watching us go by and be like amateurs, with their collars up and
Yep.
keeping warm.
100%. But yeah, and then so when you reach this particular place, it's quite a large mansion. You can see like a lot of ivy has grown over it over the years, and there is a guard that's waiting like on the premises outside of the gate, but they've fallen asleep. Like they don't even realize they're being rained on. That's how heavily asleep they are. And you see the personal. Actually, I'm going to say like, so normally there's supposed to be like lightning rods and things here, like what you saw the Dimmer Sisters plays. This mansion like very clearly does not have any of that, right? You suspect that it has other protections. You suspect that maybe there are things that move through here that would not appreciate having
a lightning barrier.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm going to say, because you rolled a 6, we're going to get you right inside the house if you want.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Let's do it.
So
do we have like newspapers in Dustfall? I think there are, because there's
yeah.
So like Ankh like pulls like a newspaper out of some rest that it might be in, and like puts it over the guy. So he's like sleeping. The guard's like sleeping there, and she like puts the newspaper over him to like block some of the rain.
Nice. And then you can just like get the keys that are like hanging off, right, on the other side, right, open the door yourself.
Like, this seems too easy,
Yeah.
Not at all. Totally fine. The moment you step across the threshold, you can feel it, Ankh, right? Like your shoulders start to get incredibly warm.
Yeah.
And when you look downwards, you can see the eyes like blink, close and open again, close and open again. And they start to take on this more golden color. Like you can see your skin pulling in what little light there is, right? And you can hear the Lord of the Depths like shifting inside of you.
And I just sort of whisper, soon.
Excellent. So as you step through the corridor, you can hear Lily's voice on the other side. Yes, just come this way through the parlor, my dear. We've all been expecting you.
I think Penance. I think we advance, and I think it's even in this time. I feel like there'd be some sort of like, I think there'd be like a wax seal or something like that. That like you basically like signature of proof of like of receipt or something like that. And so I think if you've got it, Penance, like Ankh is like gonna hand her the.
Yeah. So there's like a reason for both of us being there, right? I have the package.
Yeah.
And you're getting the stamp of Okay, yeah. I'm with you. Yep.
Yeah, and so you see, it's not Lily herself who receives it, right? You can see there are several people here. Right?
Okay.
They're like about like half a dozen people, right? And you recognize, Penance, a voice from the other side of the room. Miss Lily, are you sure? And Miss Lily turns, and Lily Blood turns and says, "Yes, Angela, I'll be there in just a moment."
Okay.
All right. So, Jamie, hold on. I need to back up a second. Paint this picture for me. We've entered in a foyer, and there's some sort of like gathering, but it's in another room, so we're just sort of hearing voices around the corner, or do we see all of this?
Oh, yeah. You can see it like people are like moving back and forth. So there's some in that room, there's some in this one. Right.
So it's like a house party or some gathering. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's a very intimate gathering.
They're milling. Okay, I get it.
And you can see there are like bits of food everywhere, and but you notice after a while, like people are dressed kind of strangely, right? There's something about the way that their clothes don't move the way fabric should. And when you take a closer look, you realize that they're all wearing a kind of leather, let's just say.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
that kind of party.
Yeah. Hey. I think this is like enough going on that it's reasonable to. I thought like I think the stamp thing. I want to retcon that a little bit and say like, yes, we have that. We'll do it, but we haven't, not yet. And I think when we get called in, because it's so like dark around Ankh, because of the way she's sort of absorbing the light. At some point, she puts on her owl spirit mask, and I want to like attune and see like what supernatural forces are at work here. Seems really dangerous to open your mind to like stuff in this kind of place, but like also you got to know, right?
Yeah. And you also have that new ability that you just picked up as a crew, right?
Yes. We can now interact with ghost spaces. So like, just had it up a second ago. This is actually a Shadows crew ability. I think we're taking as a veteran ability.
Oh, nice. Okay.
From weird experience or occult ritual, I think the weird experience is being in these ghost spaces a couple times now. All crew members gain the ability to see and interact with the ghostly structures, streets, and objects within the echo of Dustfall that exists in the ghost field. So yeah, I think we can see both. Like even without entering the ghost field, we can like see the secret ghost passages and things like that in the building, and things that like normally you'd have to like use a ghost key to get into, and even then you wouldn't really know the dimensions of. I feel like now we have better understandings of like the doors that aren't really doors, and the doors that lead to two places, one in the ghost field, one in the physical world, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, how you feel about me attuning right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna say things are risky.
Yeah.
Right? You know, normally it would be different, but you know, you started in a controlled position, so we're gonna say risky for now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, now this depends. It can be standard if you like, but it's more likely that Lily will pick up on what you're doing, or it can be limited if you're going to make sure you only need to pick up a certain amount of information, and you can make sure that she won't be aware of what you're doing, but you could always resist the consequence if that comes up.
Feels like you're kind of giving me the option of like risky, limited, or desperate standard. That's what I feel like you're telling me right now.
Yes, I am, in fact.
Because if I really want to see what's going on, I'm now, instead of just risking somebody being like, "Ooh, somebody's attuning, what's going on?" I risk Lily specifically being like, "That person's attuning."
Yeah. Exactly.
What's going on? Fuck yeah!
Are you taking desperate?
Of course I am.
Hard mode.
Yeah. I'm not sure why I asked. Maybe.
Hey, I have +1D when gathering information about the supernatural because of Ghost Mind. Like, this is what Ankh was meant to do. Right. Infiltrate weird occult shit and find stuff and find out things. Like, she came here for this purpose. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I don't want to ask for like great effect for this, but I do want to ask for additional details in this because of Ghost Echoes, where like I think I want to not only be able to see like what's going on, but I want to know like how to traverse things. And we can flash back to that later too. But like I think that feels like it's within the realm of now information Ankh can learn that she couldn't otherwise. But let's roll. Let's find out what happens first. See if that's attune, desperate. Standard. One bonus time. Kristen, are you interested in assisting, or do you feel like you want to kind of give Ankh space so that if she screws up, you still have the ability to like?
No. I will all here's the thing. I will always assist. My only concern is this happening before I hear who else is in the room?
Oh no, you heard for sure.
I don't
Yeah, you're distracted. That's cool.
I know, and I want to assist, but wow. I mean, Penance is going to physically be walking towards that person in just a second.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say, like, as a brief flashback, you remember that Lily Blood promised you that she would make Angelo a skinwalker.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think that's why I do it. I think I see you walking and I'm like, that's not the plan. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I think it's because I've lost you that I'm going to do
Perfect.
it.
Okay.
Cool.
I am sorry about the assist. This is a good narrative. You didn't need
Great
it.
five.
Didn't need it.
All them fives. So
nice.
Mark XP,
but we have our consequence. First, I want to ask Ankh, how can you tell that there is a celestial being nearby?
Let's make sure as Sean, that we are on the same page about what a celestial being is, because the game is real woo-woo, right? So I'm going to make a presupposition that the Forgotten Gods are celestial incorporeal beings, and demons are celestial corporeal beings, and their linked nature is unknown. Does that feel right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the ghosts are not celestial beings in any way. They're human. They're human refuse. Human remains. Okay, so ghost mind, occultist. I have all these abilities, all these abilities on the character sheet that seem like they would point to this, but I think for me, it's a physical reaction. We've talked about Onks headaches, right? But I think she starts getting hives when celestial beings are present. The inside of her wrists like starts turning red and flushing, and bumps start appearing on her wrist, and the headaches become vertiginous, causing a vertigo. It's a pretty distressing reaction, and I think it's because her brain, for whatever reason, because of her training, because of genetic oddity or whatnot, her brain is just so much more receptive to celestial emanations, and like it's just, she physically feels them in ways that other people don't. So it's all about her internal reaction, not I see a glow or anything like that. It's like she has a physical discomfort and reaction. So
right. And so like I think we start to see like the camera just sort of do that really dramatic shift from like up, like it's upright, down all the way to the side, right? Just to really show that sense of vertigo and displacement, right? And you realize you have such a strong reaction because it's not quite the same as like there being a celestial being, right? As you have been taught by your family to recognize, because it is part of your sacred duty. But you realize that there are pieces of a celestial being all throughout this place. And there's a ritual being built around it. And you can feel like the headache is really just starting to pound, like it wants to like break open your skull. And that's when you hear the Lord of the Depths say, "Hold fast, little snake, little owl, little girl. We are so close." And so I think like, let me know what questions you have, and then I'll tell you what the consequence is. But you can clearly see like through the ghost field that even though there are 6 people here, there are far more beings in this house, but they're all fragments. They're all torn apart. They're all like forced to like break apart. It takes a very, very powerful person to be able to do something like this.
Mm-hmm. So I think the ultimate goal that we're going for is how do we prepare this place for the Lord of the Depths to inhabit it? So the direction I want to go is like, I think it's like, tell me if I'm jumping to the wrong conclusion, but I think that there is rituals either happening right now or that have been done in the past or both that are creating this space where a celestial entity is sort of like pulled apart, and therefore, and like it's the pressure, the spectral pressure of it trying to come back together is like keeping like a bubble around here. And so what I want to know is like how to remove the restraints that are holding it apart so that it can reform. And also, I think like ultimately my thought is like leave this place or like be free of this place. Like, so yeah, because I want to set up shop at this place, or I want the Lord of Depths to set up shop at this place. So it's like, how do I free the shards of the celestial entity from this place? And feel free to like roll that way back and just give me the first step or whatever, like whatever. But that's the direction I'm going in.
Right. So you realize that you look closer at the food that people have been consuming, and you realize like people have been eating bits and pieces of demon. So the first thing is you have to find the person who has consumed the most demon, and like they're going to be like the easiest link to break in this chain, to like start a cascading effect, right? To weaken the ritual.
Right.
But what you can tell, just to be absolutely clear, like you can tell this is a ritual that was first set in place a long time ago, and Lily Blood has to like strengthen the ritual over time.
Yeah.
Right. So you came in at an exact, precise opportunity where you can like take over this ritual for yourselves and do what you want with this space.
Gross. And also I love it. Awesome. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And so I'm going to say that the consequence is it's not Lily who notices you, but on the other side, Penance, you hear Angelo saying, so if I do this, all the scars, all of it will disappear. And you hear Lily say, of course, we can completely remake your face, your body into anything you want. We could even give you a new one. And he interrupts, no. I don't want her to not, I want her to recognize me. And so you can see like Angela's being strapped down into this like really weird contraption. It kind of looks similar to like the contraption that you found your child. Ooh, is that too much to say? But anyway, the hull, right? Yeah. Like strapped down to. It's a very similar situation, right? But he's not fighting against it. And you can see like they're starting to draw these ritual markings all across his face. Like they're already going to start the ritual. So that's the consequence, which you can, either of you can choose to resist, of course.
Nice. I just want to make sure I like get the nature of the consequence, because presumably Lily sensed something was going on. She's like, okay, cool. Let's cut to it. Let's cut to it. Like, okay, cool.
You can see like she's darting around looking, like she can't tell what's going on, but she's like, she's been at this long enough that she's like, if I just do this quick enough, right?
Yeah. Let's just get another one in. Cool.
Yeah.
So either one of us could resist that, right? Like you can, because of the protect action, right? You can like, but also like, that seems like a juicy consequence. I'm here for it.
You don't have to resist it.
Not trying to strip on show. I'm not as cold anymore.
I mean, I don't feel like this is the time to start resisting consequences.
Well, we should probably represent this with the clock being like Angelo is a skinwalker, right?
I like that. And
this would put some number of ticks on that clock, right?
Yeah, let's make a 4-tick clock and we'll tick it once.
Okay.
Cool.
Not to like wreck my own day, but it's very reasonable on a desperate action, the consequences of a desperate action, to put 3 ticks on a clock. right? Like controlled, you put 1 tick, risky 2, desperate
That's
3.
true. That's
I'm
true.
not
Thank you for reminding me,
saying
Sean.
you always have to do that. There's definitely cases where you're like, no. It's such a big deal that this
Sure,
is just a
Yeah.
sure.
1 tick thing. But like, also, if she really is like, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll describe what happens. So let's put 3 ticks on the clock. And I think what happens is the moment that they draw the ritual symbols, and he's about to open his mouth to ask a question, when Lily like places a hand on his forehead, forces it down, and that's when you start to see like the edges of her jaw don't quite fit the way that they should. You can see like parts of her skin are loose. And when she takes a deep breath, like there's a ripple that moves throughout her body. And you can see like Angelo start to close his eyes. And when they open again, they open in a way that I should not be able to. You can see that his skin is already starting to melt away.
Is that what we're carrying?
Yeah.
We're carrying the new Angelo skin.
You are.
Nice. So Kristen, either of us could resist that and like make it only be 2 ticks, or maybe make it be fewer ticks.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to do, or do you want?
I think I do want to resist that one.
Yeah.
For less
Alright,
ticks
so-
on the clock.
Yeah. So to be clear, it'll be resist now to make it 2 ticks instead of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes total sense. We can slow the process a little,
Right.
but we're not, until we actually stop Lily Blood. We're not stopping it. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
No stress. Totally fine.
It's fine. I was just trying to see, do I have to use, we resist so often on this show. I can never
Yeah.
remember.
So it depends
Right.
on what
you're
kind of
doing to resist,
consequence it
yeah.
is. Insight resists consequences from deception or understanding. That's what I'm thinking, right? It's her, even though I did a attune action, it's Lily Blood's understanding or our failure of deception that
Yeah.
insight feels like it's the right way to resist. But
Yeah. No, I looked at the other two, and yeah, I will go with insight. I think that's good. Okay.
yeah. And I feel like you can be like, the package isn't ready, or you haven't signed for it yet. You can't you can I don't know, however you want to, we have the thing she needs to do the thing. So I feel like you can use that.
Sorry, I was thinking ahead. Okay. Bonus dies. Can you get bonus die on resisting?
You can. Yeah. I could assist you on it. I could be like, need the stamp. The stamp.
Okay.
Again, it's one of those things where it's kind of weird to spend stress on trying to avoid taking stress.
That's what it was. I was like, I knew there was some reason why I shouldn't get this bonus die for stress or push myself. Thank you, Sean. You said that earlier.
That's okay. But I mean, I'm totally happy to assist on this because I literally am like, you need to sign first, lady.
If you want to, I feel like we're it's up to you.
Well, I guess my question is, what's the nature of your thing? If we're going along with the plan, then I will absolutely assist you. But if you're like, Angelo, and you're going to do something that's a little more uncertain, I don't think I can. It's not that I wouldn't. It's that I'm
you can't. Right. It was like me earlier when I was so distracted earlier. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's happening to you in the ghost world.
I think penance is definitely still just going to be moving forward.
Cool.
I don't think there's any sort of outburst yet at this time.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the ghost field and wearing my spirit mask. I'm not here to pretend to be a courier in this moment. So,
right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to take, okay. Oh gosh. Okay.
Where's that bad?
All right. We got 4. Okay.
Yeah. Too stressed. That's not bad.
How are you going to resist it? What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it makes most sense too, especially because Pence is caught so off guard by this, and I think is just starting to go through with the plan. Like it's just kind of like walking into this room like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We have an important urgent package.
I got an idea.
What is it?
I don't know, but I think when Angelo hears your voice, maybe it helps him like hold together a little bit longer.
Oh,
Maybe he's like all like woozy, and then like he hears your voice and he like perks up for a second because he doesn't quite know it's you, but he knows
if
he
it's
knows
real.
it,
Yeah.
right? And it just kind of makes him like more lucid for a second as you like, I don't know.
Yeah. Come in, package
Oh,
first.
so good. So
Yes.
good. So good. Right. So instead it's 2 ticks
Okay.
on the clock. And when that happens, you can see like Lily Blood doesn't even like look towards you. Like with her free hand, she like snaps a finger. I wouldn't say how badass she is because she's using her left hand to snap her finger. But anyway, so right, I can barely do it. And so one of the other guests steps forward and says, "Oh yes, of course." But it's enough to distract her. Like you can see the skin around Angelo's face grow taut again,
Okay.
and there's a moment where Lily Blood is distracted just a little bit, and her eyes flicker away, and that's when you see Angelo's lips mouth the word penance. Like,
Okay.
so penance, what do? You see the box is taken. You see it starts to open up. Like, there is this disturbing realization that they don't seem to care that you are witnessing this ritual.
Yeah.
You sort of realize that they don't think that you're going to be a problem later.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna eat us.
They're gonna eat us. Yeah. So
I'm sure your minor hallucinations and your terror don't make that in
do
any
you like
way.
that I went to minor hallucinations? I just like every once in a while see like flowers and thorns and rooms and so I'm looking up what I'm carrying in my bandolier, which is why I have my book.
Oh, good. So good.
So Kristen,
Yes.
I don't know that it's like in your bandolier,
Yeah.
but like there are so many things that would make somebody vomit. I mean, just so many toxins. Like our bodies just, there's a lot of things that are edible but not palatable, right?
Right.
We are weak bodied. Yes.
We're weak bodied.
And I just feel like it's so within your ability to like poison this food so that people start throwing up, right? Like, because they're consuming I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like enough in the moment, because like poisoning food takes some time. And like maybe that would mean waiting a lot longer than we want. But I just like, you have the bandolier of drugs and like.
I do. I've got tools.
Yeah.
So I know Ankh has realized that we have Angelo's new skin. Has Penance realized we have Angelo's new skin?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to try to destroy that skin. Because in Penance's mind, if that's destroyed, they can't complete this ritual. And then I've saved Angelo for the moment. So this is my emotional reaction to what's happening here. So I don't know enough about fire oil. But I was kind of thinking, Sean, you look really concerned about my fire oil.
I love Sean's face.
It's just not what I expected. I fucking love it. It's great. I was like, ooh, we'll trick them. And you're like, fuck this shit, burn it down.
Well, not always. I don't always love that, but I feel like this is like that's the type of response it would elicit from her, right? Is like she has to do something super dramatic to save him right now.
You got 2 dots.
This sounds like Wreck. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He said Wreck at the same time.
And you have Saboteur, which means when you wreck, your work is much quieter and the damage is hidden from casual spectrum, which I feel like means you can use fire oil and like target exactly one thing. Like you don't catch the whole building on fire. I think normally if I like pull out fire oil, it's like, fuck, that building's gone.
Yeah.
I feel like you can use it in a total controlled fashion. and
That
just be
would be
like,
my goal, is to literally just get the fire oil onto whoever is carrying, not the person themselves, but the actual package is the target. We'll see what happens, but that's the goal.
Right. So I think it's Rec.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
It's we're in the middle of a ritual. Angelo's nearby.
Yeah.
It is fire oil. I'm gonna say this is desperate.
I'm with you.
But I'm gonna say because of like all your awesome preparation with all this like your saboteur and everything, we're gonna go with great. So desperate great.
yeah,
Okay.
it's in your possession still, right? Like you are like literally holding it and being like, oh no, I'm gonna actually ignite this fucker,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like
right.
it's like, here's an example of saboteur. I feel like it's totally reasonable for you to have like some sort of like flame proof gloves on where you could literally be like holding it as you burn it and be fine, right? Like that's like, you're like, fuck you, I got your burning skin right here, right? Like, yeah.
We can even flash back to me having those gloves on, being like, what are you gonna need those for? And I'm like, just in case.
Exactly.
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, Rec. Hold on. Sorry.
I think you should mark fine wrecking tools on your sheet as stuff you have. Well, I guess not even though, because it's right. You just have to mark your bandolier because you have the
my
fire.
bandolier. Yeah.
Yeah. You just mark one of your bandoliers.
Great. Okay, and then
And you also have to mark 2 stress unless you already did it from resisting.
Oh, thank you. I'll mark 2 stress.
Yeah.
But can I hear a devil's bargain?
Of course, my love. I will always have one for you. The devil's bargain I have for you is that the demon that has been pulled apart is a fire demon. So the demon will react to the sudden fire appearing. Like the demon will see it as a form of worship.
Yeah. I'm for sure taking that. Okay.
I love Sean's faces today. Okay, what do we get? Oh, 5. 5 was good. 5 was good.
Yes,
5 was good.
Okay. Let me mark my 2 stress before I forget. Okay.
And mark XP as well.
And mark XP from the desperate action.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Boom.
Perfect. Ooh. Okay, so I think what happens is as you hand the package over, everything slows down and we just see the slightest blue flames around this beautiful box that was carefully wrapped, right, by our friend, and then it just erupts into flames, and we can see like in the reflection, because you're not wearing your mask, I think, but you're wearing a mask, right?
Yeah. It couldn't be my same one. I agree. Yeah.
But I think because I want this to be a really badass moment for you, Penance. Like as the flames erupt, that mask that was hiding your original mask starts to fall away and your real mask starts to come through. What do you think? Like, do you want to, right? Yeah, I kind of feel like the moment of subterfuge is kind of over at this point, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
For a moment. Right. And so, and then there's this horrible smell because of what's burning. I won't go into more detail.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That fills the entire room. And so when that happens, so it does disrupt the ritual, right? Like, because you're like connected right now and attuning to what's going on in the ghost field, you can feel things violently just like skew towards one side. Right. And so that same camera trick happens again, except in the opposite direction.
Nice. Where you can Ankh, like, jostled by it physically.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so you can, and everyone in the room like doubles over and falls over, right? The ones that especially had been consuming, right? The demon meat and all of these things, as the ritual is like completely disrupted. I'm going to say that the consequence is, Lily blood is so awful. I think when she realizes what's happening and she sees the mask, right? She looks at you and you don't even see her move, right? But her hand is suddenly gripped around Angelo's neck and she's about to snap his neck in two.
Oof. Okay.
And you realize, like, as she's doing that, you have this horrible feeling because it's still part of the ritual that she doesn't even need him to be completely alive in order to have some aspect of it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I just want to throw out, like, Jamie, I think it's totally fair if you just want to say, like, she snaps his neck, because Kristen and I can always resist that, right? Like, we can always be like, no.
I was thinking that.
But I feel like in a desperate role with somebody as powerful as Lily, like, it all depends on the fictional positioning. But, like, in this case, I feel like Lily could just be like, fuck you, and, like, snap his neck, and, like, and we have to resist to make that.
It is a power move for sure.
Yeah,
Penance, let me offer you this.
Okay.
That you can sense the neck is about to snap, and you hear Athea's voice in your mind. I can save him.
Nice. Is that our cliffhanger moment, Jamie? Is that
yes, that's our cliffhanger moment, I think. We're going to end with that moment with Penance. I think it ends with, like, we see Athea's, like, behind you, Penance, like hugging you from behind, and her face next to your ear. I can save him. And then, like, we cut to Lily Blood, like, and we hear the sound of the neck starting to snap.
Yeah.
Right. And it echoes as we fade into black. No big deal. Totally
no big deal. Fine. Just another relaxing score from the Rusted Log.
All chill, all good. Yeah. You know how in, like, shows where, like, they clearly show something that would happen in, like, a second and a half, but it's drawn out through, like, 5 minutes of, whatever. I feel like you hear the tendon noise, but, like, we could still have a long-winded discussion between that. Actually, we're bound in darkness. We can send thoughts like that. We can still do.
Totally fine. Totally
funny,
fine.
actually. I also am, like, down to get, like, fighty. Like, we haven't been fighty enough. I'm happy to, like.
Yeah, people gorging on demon flesh will be interesting to fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have feelings about, like, the presence of Lily Blood's limbs. Like, does she need that hand? No, I don't think she needs it. I think it could be removed with a golden dagger. I have sentiments. Should we do XP and then wrap?
Yeah, let's do XP. Let's do XP.
All right, Penance, let's do you, because I've got your sheet up right now.
Okay.
I wonder if we should put a new XP trigger. Did Jamie make you suffer? Right.
It should
be. Did Jamie pull on your heartstrings with NPCs that you fell in love with immediately?
Angelo. Just one day, Jamie was like, "Why do you love Angelo?" And I was like, "I do."
I want to say, Jamie, you make so many NPCs that we fall in love with or are terrified of, or both. And I just want to say I am so proud that I created Angelo. I am so proud that, like, I can claim an NPC that also.
It's so true. A lasting NPC.
Absolutely.
And I only say this as my 1 to your thousands, like it's.
Okay.
Oh, so yes, poor Corey asking about people gorging on demon flesh. Yeah. It's a typical Jamie game.
Right.
But yeah, okay, let's go through XP.
You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I feel like lighting a skin suit on fire in the middle of a ritual.
Yeah.
Counts.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know that I've done anything else. It's been short so far, so I'm going to say 1 for that.
I feel like technical skill should apply to you, like, keeping the, like, spore and, like, studying it.
Oh, yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I was even going to argue about you knowing to outsmart Athea was to write it on your hands and not look at it.
Oh, yeah.
See, I always forget downtime I can do. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with both of you, so I'll take 2 and I fill up my advancement. Okay. And then you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yeah. I mean, I maybe not lighting the package on fire, but definitely immediately, without hesitation, breaking plan and trying to save Aunt.
Yeah, and I think also that time you remove the mask, right?
Yes. Removing the mask and then also asking Salia for help, which is something Penance doesn't do very often.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like that moment of like asking Ankh to help with like resisting Athea, and like it really calls back to your background of being betrayed by the Archbenders, of being betrayed by Ankh even, and like can you trust her? Like you can choose to forgive. If you can choose to forgive, this is retroactively what I said. If you can choose to forgive me, you can choose to forgive anyone.
Oh, Ankh. Yes.
So yeah, I think it's a twofer.
Two, yeah, agreed. And then finally, you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. I mean, again, Penance's trauma is obsessed and specifically obsessed with Athea. And so, yeah, I think that she showed that a few times here, right?
Yeah.
And your vice is weird, and it's going with Salia, and going with Salia is actually how you got an extra tick on that clock of like trying to like figure stuff out with Salia, and it like backfiring on you.
Yeah. So I think 2 for that one as well.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
Load them up.
All right, done.
All right.
Ankh.
Anky Ankh. All right. You address challenges with knowledge and or arcane power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I did that a lot. I think the arcane power we saw with me, like sending all the Forgotten Gods folks out to reduce heat. I think the approach of like we're going to infiltrate the courier thing and get into Lilyblood, and I feel like I've just been like talking with gods, and yeah, I think a lot. I think
a lot.
It's a real gimme for the Whisper. It's real easy to say knowledge or arcane power. Same with the Cutter. Did you fight things? Did you punch something? Did you use force? Or the Leech is actually, I think, harder than the. I think the Whisper is just a very.
If you're not conscious of it, yeah.
For sure. It's really easy to be like, oh yeah, of course I did that. I didn't even think about it. Did you express beliefs, your drives, heritage, or background? Yeah, I think we saw. The whole thing of like the family connection to Skurlock, and also Ankh's like reticence to go to the Eruvian consulate and like not wanting to see her aunt, and like not wanting to deal with the fact that she like failed her families. Like even though she chose like fuck you family, I don't have to do what you said. Like she doesn't actually have to like deal with that yet, and she's really been trying to put that off. And yeah. And I feel like beliefs is really strong because she's been trying to fucking get rid of Athea since Athea showed up. And now she's like, we're doing this score not just to find a new home, but we're doing this score to like get rid of your possessor ghost. That was a big
right.
It was a big deal for Ankh. So 2 there. You struggle with issues from your vice or trauma. My vice is stupor. It came up, but I didn't struggle with it. My trauma is cold. I don't think so.
I think there was a point when you were trying to hold back from Skurlock, right? Like you weren't quite sure.
Oh yeah.
That is true. I think yes, I will call it that. I will call 1 for that because there was the moment where I was like, you're being really friendly to me and I don't know why, so I'm going to be suspicious of I'm not going to open up in the way that I would if I was more trusting. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll take 1 for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Crew XP?
Crew. All right. Advance the agenda of your deity or embody its precepts and actions?
Yeah, I'd say like you getting along with the Lord of the Depths and disrupting this ritual that is tearing apart a demon is something that,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just one though because we haven't done it yet.
Right,
Like we're
right.
That's
in the
fair.
process, but we're not like
Yeah. Agree.
contend with challenges above your current station.
Oh yeah.
We're doing that now for sure.
Oh yeah. I think both Athea and Lilyblood are so terrifying.
Yeah.
All right. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Daring, right?
Yeah, I just wonder who we've interacted with that would think of it. I mean, Julian.
Julian.
Yeah, I was about to say, right?
Yeah.
One for Julian.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
one for Julian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I mean, we're always dealing with our conflict.
That's true. When are we not?
We played 2 hours of downtime doing all of that.
Well, conflict, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's 2 XP there.
All right,
Yeah.
so we get another crew advance.
Nice.
We were pretty close, and then we like maxed out, and then we nearly maxed out again. So we both get 3 coin in our stash.
Okay.
And we need to pick another ability, which
Ooh.
I almost just want to say we should grab synchronized because we've talked about it so many times.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
We could also do, upgrades and that kind of shit. We might want to wait until because we should do it before next session. But I don't know.
I mean, synchronized we've talked about since the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we want to just
taking it? Boom.
Okay.
Nice.
We're decision makers this evening.
I know. I love that. I love when you're just like, cool, we're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you penance, the 3 coin in your stash.
Thank you. I don't manage my own money. Onk does that.
let me handle that dirty coin for you. Lovely. This has been another absolutely amazing game. I love playing with you both, and I love playing Blades in the Dark. And definitely, should go to the writers' room for the TV show. Anywho,
can a TV show have this much body horror? Like, I just kind of wonder.
I mean, Altered Carbon was just like mutilation and naked bodies.
It was.
Like, it's all just like sex and fucking, or sex, murder and sex, just like all over. I'm a big boy, and I still kind of got like, every once in a while. So yeah, I think we can get away with it.
I think it's our choice. We got this.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. I can be found over at Sean Nittner. My current big dealio, I have a couple of them, I guess. The Fate Accessibility Toolkit from Eagle Hat, written by Elsa Suhensen and many other contributors, is being printed. Actually, done being printed. It's moving into warehouses now, and it's going to come out October 5th. And it's if you play Fate, it's a fantastic toolkit for bringing disabled characters into your game and disabled players to the table. If you don't play Fate, it still is like 2/3, maybe 3/4 system agnostic and has a lot of really fantastic advice. And most importantly, all of the disabilities that were talked about in it were written by somebody who had those disabilities. So everything is written from the perspective of someone who has personal experience with that. And it's a really, really important book. I'm really, really proud that we've created it. And I'm really, really excited that it's finally done and coming to print. So I highly recommend checking that out. The other thing that I'm doing, a little minor hoodle, which is Big Bad Online. I am currently recruiting the last few panel slots. If you are really excited about talking about something, either game theory or industry practicum, you can go to the Big Bad site and submit, or if you have an idea for somebody else to do something, you can submit a panel suggestion. We have a few more spots open, but you don't have to speak on it to attend. Attendance is free. Anybody can come. We have really high-end panels from really experienced folks, including both Jamie and Kristen. They're both going to be on panels, and talking about amazing stuff. It's October 23rd to the 24th. It's free for all attendees, but if you would like to support it, we have a fundraiser going on. We've hit our goal, but now any funds that we make at this point will help us go towards Big Bad Con 2022. So they will still go to a good place. Go to bigbadcon.com to see all the details about that. How about you, Jamie?
Yeah, so hi, my name is Jamie. I was very happy to be everybody's terrifying and loving GM this evening. So my pronouns are they, he, and you can find me on Twitter at Temporal Hiccup, as well as my Itch.io page. I love to make games. My biggest game that I'm working on right now is Apocalypse Keys, which is going to be published through Epohat, which is super, super cool. So you can follow along to see how that's going. But I'm also working on, I did the math yesterday, and it's about like 8 other active games at the same time, like most people on Twitter. So we are ramping up for a Kickstarter for Arhant, which is a belonging outside belonging game about ghosts that have created their own found family in an old haunted house. So it's very cozy, it's very creepy, sad and sweet at the same time. We're going to be launching really soon in time for Halloween, so that's going to be super fun. So that's basically it. Kristen, how about you?
Oh, this was so much fun. Now I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks agonizing over Penance's decision in this 1 second that we're going to draw out into 10 minutes.
2 weeks, really.
2 weeks actually, because we're going to be in our Discord chatting about it immediately. It was a blast. You both know I adore playing with you both, and Blades is a fantastic game. So again, I'm Kristen, she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Kristen is no Jedi. I do game design and writing. I do podcasting and live streaming. So I am the co-host of a live stream called They're a Super Geek. You can find us over at the Misdirected Mark Twitch channel. We focus on highlighting marginalized voices in tabletop gaming and supporting indie designers and creators. And I also co-host a talk show, or interview show rather, called Tabletop Crowd on the Tabletop Babble channel. And that is all about interviewing folks in gaming who have crowdfunding projects. I talk to them about their projects and then release the episode during their crowdfunding to help get it to more folks and hype good people making good things. As far as my game design, you can check that out at Dice Up Games on Twitter or Dice Up Games on DriveThru or Itch. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been lovely seeing the responses in chat, and I'm just very happy to hang with all of you. We're going to do our little post-game show in a sec, but now we're going to end the stream. So we'll see you all back in a couple weeks. Take care, all. Bye.
Bye.
And I think